F1 car reveal season is officially here, and by the time you're watching this, Haas will have unveiled their livery and the rest will follow thick and fast. While we are excited for Haas's prospects in 2023, it's Red Bull we're here to talk about as the reigning champions have a lot going on this year. In the midst of sanctions on their testing time and budget cap, they could be in for their biggest year ever, starting with their car reveal on the 3rd of February. So let's get into it. While Haas may be the first team to show off their 2023 car, they have very specifically said that it will be a livery reveal, making a point of the fact that they won't be showing a fully upgraded 2023 car to the world. It's good of them to be honest about it because it's pretty unlikely anyone will be showing their complete car, even if they say they are. We'll have to wait for the Bahrain test at the end of February for that to happen. Red Bull's announcement of their release date set out their intentions very clearly. The 3rd of February is set to be our biggest launch yet, in the city that never sleeps, New York. Not only is this going to be the first Formula 1 season launch to take place in the US, but we're also planning to make it the greatest in F1 history. That sounds like a pretty huge claim, but considering F1 car launches are normally conducted in a makeshift studio in the team's factory, maybe it isn't that big a claim. To add to the excitement, Red Bull had a competition you could enter to live stream the release officially for the team, which we thought was pretty cool. As great as a live event with fans in New York will be, it seems like a lot of faff to fly a car to New York to do the reveal when Red Bull are based in Milton Keynes in England. So why the US? What have they got up their sleeves? In recent years, Formula 1's popularity has skyrocketed in the United States. Red Bull have also felt this, with major US software company Oracle currently acting as the team's title sponsor. Although Oracle's headquarters are in Texas, the distance is still closer than if the squad were to launch the RB19 in the UK. This means that key figures from Oracle can attend the event more easily. Formula 1's American renaissance has been well documented for a few years now, thanks to the Netflix effect, but this feels like the first move by a team to really embrace the sport's popularity stateside. Honestly, we're surprised it's taken this long for a team to make a big event of a reveal in the US. Over the years, the team have been known for their show runs across a range of locations. Could we see one of the squad's challengers hitting the streets of New York? It wouldn't be the first time this has happened after all. Sergio Perez previously took his Red Bull for a spin around the city in 2022, while Sebastian Vettel previously tested out the streets in 2012. It won't be the new car if this happens, but don't be surprised to see clips of Checo, Verstappen and Ricciardo tearing up the streets of New York in an older spec Red Bull, but brand new livery and racing gear. After all, they did make a big deal out of the new racing clothing being a part of the reveal. While a new livery reveal is always exciting, and the event in New York is likely to be the best ever, Red Bull may have an even bigger announcement up their sleeve, and New York would be the perfect place to reveal it. Red Bull are reportedly on the verge of signing a deal with Ford ahead of their 2023 car launch on Friday. Christian Horner's team, who coasted to the drivers' and constructors' success last season as Max Verstappen won his second world title, are in the market for an automotive partner, having held talks with Porsche last summer. Although negotiations with the German giant broke down, several car makers are in the market to join Formula 1 in the coming years, given the sport's surge in popularity. The Ford Motor Company, who were last involved in F1 in 2004 alongside Jaguar, are one such interested party, and reports say that a deal is expected to be agreed with Red Bull and could be announced as early as Friday. There is even evidence that Ford is sending social media influencers working for them to the event in preparation to capture the reveal from the fans' perspective. The report adds that it is unclear at this point whether Ford would enter as an engine partner, in the same way as Audi's already confirmed partnership with Sauber, with a German manufacturer, to join when new engine regulations come into play in 2026. Red Bull have set up their own powertrains department at their base in Milton Keynes, and will this year continue working with Japanese manufacturer Honda on their engines. Mark Rushbrook, Ford's performance chief, insists any move into the F1 market does require consideration. Formula 1 is certainly strong and growing, both in the United States and globally, he said last week. What they've done well is create great racing and great competition. It's still the pinnacle, but they've been able to reach new audiences with things like Drive to Survive. As a company, we go racing for innovation, tech transfer, the learning opportunity, but also for marketing reasons as well. It's shifted for sure, and it definitely requires consideration. If they want innovation and tech transfer, then Formula 1 is the place to be. The series is renowned for introducing new technology that is transferable to the consumer market. The rule makers, the FIA, are also trying to bring the technical regulations of the sport closer to the real world to make it easier for manufacturers to take development for the sport and put it into their road cars. That's why we're racing on 18-inch tires now, not 13-inch. And that is also the aim for the new engine regulations coming in 2026, removing complex parts that don't have real-life applications in favor of a more real-world friendly engine. The Ford partnership would be incredibly exciting, but would mean the death of the Honda in-and-out dance that's been playing out for the past year. The Japanese manufacturer has been leaving the sport and rejoining multiple times since the start of the new regulations. But if Red Bull joins up with Ford, Honda will be no more. You might be wondering what this means for Red Bull powertrains in the long run. Seems a bit stupid to start your own engine division before bringing in Ford, doesn't it? Well, if we had to take an educated guess, Red Bull would build the combustion engine at their factory, while Ford provided the electrical components and maybe even the funding to get their nameplate on the engine. We need to wait for the actual confirmation that there is a partnership before we'll know more about how the two will work together though. While the Ford reveal might take the headlines at the Red Bull reveal party, there is still a car to be shown off, and while it might not be the car we see on track in Bahrain, the livery should be the same. Red Bull has given a playful hint that it might have a livery change in store for the 2023 Formula 1 season. The team tweeted what looked like a base model of its car, in mostly white apart from a blue Red Bull logo on the engine cover, and the caption, 2023 a blank canvas. Red Bull's tweet may be a genuine hint that it's planning a rethink of a look that has changed relatively little in its F1 history so far, that it has a special pre-season testing livery planned, or may just be a fun social media tease ahead of launch season. Its past hints of doing something different with its colour scheme haven't been followed up when it came to the car it actually put on the Grand Prix grid. That isn't going to stop us from getting excited though, as there have been examples of alternative Red Bull paint jobs on track in the past. Red Bull was the title sponsor of Sauber for a long time before it bought Jaguar at the end of 2004. It wanted to make a point of telling the world of its shift from sponsor to fully fledged team owner in F1 with a new identity, so they made a livery change in the form of its energy drink can design. It seemed obvious, but Red Bull has never actually raced a car in the colour of one of its own cans. The only time we've seen what that would look like was over the winter of 2004 and 5, when it hastily rebranded the Jaguars it inherited for use in testing. There was also the camouflage Red Bull in 2015. They used a mock-up camouflage livery, similar to what you'd expect to see on a prototype road car, when it stretched its legs around the Nordschleife before release. Red Bull was happy to play up suggestions it was an attempt to disguise the car's secrets during testing, but ultimately this was a clever marketing move to generate some attention. The idea came from a crash helmet Sebastian Vettel used at the Italian Grand Prix in 2014, although his departure from the team over the winter meant he never got to drive with the livery. Team boss Christian Horner promised that people calling for the team to race with the camouflage wouldn't be disappointed when they saw Red Bull's definitive 2015 car. But whatever the team supposedly had planned for the season must have been accidentally deleted from its servers. All the Red Bull did with its normal design was add its own name to the side of the chassis. What are you expecting from Red Bull at the car reveal? Is Ford going to be the headline, or could a completely changed livery take center stage? Let us know your thoughts down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.